Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. On Tuesday, November 5th, the 47th President of the United States will be chosen. In most national polls, Vice President Kamala Harris still leads former President Donald Trump by a tiny margin. Harris leads Trump by 2.6% in the weighted average of the national polls, up 0.2% from the previous week. In comparison to Trump's 45.9%, the vice president holds 48.6%. However, Harris led Trump by 6 and 7 points in two separate outward intelligence polls conducted from 15 to 19 September. In a Florida Atlantic University Yash Main Street research poll, Harris led Trump by 4 points, with 49% to 45%. Despite the fact that Harris leads Trump overall, the election is likely to be won by a small margin in battleground states that make or break elections, such as Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and North Carolina. In 6 swing states in the United States, Harris held a narrow lead over Trump, according to a Bloomberg poll, and in a 7th they were tied. The poll's statistical margin of error is within her individual state leads, indicating that the contest could be decided by the smallest of margins. According to the poll conducted by Bloomberg News and Morning Consult, Harris holds a 7-point lead in Nevada, 5 points in Pennsylvania, 3 points in Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and 2 points in North Carolina. In Georgia, the two are in a tie. In the 7 states, Harris leads among likely voters by 3 percentage points, up 2 points from last month. While roughly 40% of likely voters predicted that Trump would win, 47% of likely voters believe Harris will win the election regardless of whether they support her. A poll released on Wednesday found that Vice President Harris is ahead of former President Trump in Arizona by 3 percentage points. In the Grand Canyon state, according to the Emerson College polling Real Clear World survey, Trump receives 50% support while Harris receives 47.2%. While the majority of voters say they lean toward the GOP nominee, approximately 2% of voters are undecided. Regardless of which candidate Arizonans support in the upcoming election, opinions regarding who they believe will win in November are roughly divided. 49.8% of respondents think that Trump will win in November, while 49.1% believe the same about Harris. Arizona, which has 11 votes in the Electoral College, is a crucial battleground state that both campaigns want to win. By a margin of less than 11,000 votes in the 2020 presidential election, the state chose Vice President Biden. After Trump challenged the state's election results, election-related conspiracies have had an impact on Arizona's election systems ever since. 4 years ago, the race was thought to be one of the closest in the country. Now, Harris and Trump appear to be heading in the same direction. A compilation of polls indicates that Trump leads Harris in the state by 1.2 percentage points, or 49.2% to 48% according to the Hill Decision Desk HQ. Despite the fact that Harris is performing better than Trump in other swing states, she is hoping to appeal to Arizonans who are concerned about immigration with a recent visit to the nation's southern border. After her border trip, the former president has pressed her on the matter and even referred to his Democratic opponent as the architect of this destruction. A new poll shows that former President Trump has increased his lead over Vice President Harris in Georgia as the two candidates fight for inches in important southeast states. Another Quinnipiac College survey shows Trump up 6 focuses over Harris in the Peach State, with 50% help to her 44%. Other candidates were supported by an additional 3%. That is slightly more of a lead than Trump had last month, when the pollster found that Trump led among likely voters in Georgia by 4 points. In the meantime, Quinnipiac states that it is too close to call Trump's victory in the crucial swing state of North Carolina, where he leads by 2 points. According to a statement released by Quinnipiac University polling analyst Tim Malloy, all eyes are on the South as Georgia and North Carolina, turbocharged by 32 electoral votes between them, can make or break the two candidates in a race that looks to be leaning toward Trump's way in Georgia at the moment and churning toward a tight finish in North Carolina. The survey, which was taken at the end of September, comes as Hurricane Helene has devastated parts of both important battlegrounds in the southeastern United States. Despite the fact that Election Day is just over a month away, it is still unknown how the storms will affect or influence voters in Georgia and North Carolina, which have both been exhibiting signs of a tightening presidential race. In 2016, Trump won both states. In 2020, he won North Carolina, while Biden only managed to win Georgia. The most recent polling averages from the Hill Decision Desk HQ indicate that Trump holds a 0.8-point lead in North Carolina and that Georgia is tied. According to a survey that was carried out by two pollsters, one of whom has a track record of working with the Trump campaign, Vice President Kamala Harris has a 3-point lead over former President Donald Trump in the crucial state of Pennsylvania. Trump is the incumbent. Impact Research, a polling firm with Democratic ties, and Fabrizio Ward, a polling firm used by Trump's campaign, collaborated to conduct the survey of 1,298 likely Pennsylvania voters for the nonprofit AARP. Despite Harris's lead over Trump with 50% of the vote to 47%, the Republican held an 8-point lead among voters 50 and older. The survey was conducted from September 17 to September 24. With 19 electoral college votes at stake, Pennsylvania is widely regarded as a crucial state in the 2024 presidential election. Trump won the Keystone State in 2016, beating Hillary Clinton by about 0.7 points, and Biden won it in 2020 by 1.2 points. Overall, the 2024 presidential race is still in jeopardy, with a recent forecast from renowned pollster Nate Silver putting Harris' chances of winning at 57.3% and Trump's at 42.5%. The Republican-affiliated pollster Trafalgar Group surveyed 1,090 likely Pennsylvania voters between September 26 and 29, and the results showed that Trump won with 47.5% of the vote to Harris's 45.3%. 53% and 53% respectively of likely voters in the ages of 18 to 34 support Harris, while Trump commands 52% of those over 55. However, on the issues, Trump was significantly preferred by likely voters. Most likely voters, 54%, preferred Trump's leadership over Harris' handling of inflation and rising prices. The only issue they agreed was the most pressing issue facing the nation today. Harris received 48.5% of the vote to Trump's 45.7% in the most recent 538 analysis of recent national polls, which was released on September 30th. In any case, in view of the discretionary school framework, Trump could lose the well-known vote in November despite everything win the political decision, as he did in 2016 against Clinton. According to a new poll that was commissioned by the Post, Vice President Kamala Harris is outpacing former President Donald Trump nationwide by 4 percentage points. However, the majority of likely voters would prefer the Republican candidate to handle major issues like inflation, immigration, and employment. A 4-point margin that has remained constant since the group's August poll for the Post indicates that Harris is the preferred candidate among likely voters in the United States, beating Trump 51% to 47% in the Ledger survey. When those voters were asked who is most ready to lead on Inauguration Day 2025, the Republican nominee prevails, however, 51% to 49%.